you got it right up top. Show him.
Okay.
Is that what?
Yeah, just right there.
There was a mistake.
I presented this directly to,
I just pass it around and now.
I know. They.
Sorry. We're back on the record. Okay, we're back on the record. Let's take this opportunity to introduce the presentation on Full Spectrum Group LLC. We're joined by Mr. Walter Edwards, CEO, and Mr. Carlton Brown. And I saw Ms. Shaw with you. Was she connected to the show?
Yeah, she was here, but she
felt that this was a closed session, so she would not entertain.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, this is nothing but transparency. Let me take this opportunity to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to the council to give us an update on the project. As I had an opportunity to talk to you, Mr. Edwards, with regards to the project, council has asked a few questions with regards to the status of the project, past and or present, where we see ourselves going in the future with regards to timelines on the project, as well as, probably most importantly, what, if any, expectations of this body that you may have with regards to including your proposal and disposition of the property and or starting development. I guess the main thing is we want to know when, how much, and how long it would take to get this project up and running, and to assure you, as we speak at this point in time, this body, I think it's been safe to start, our support for the project has not wavered. However, for the benefit of this body, and certainly for the benefit of the public, they really have an opportunity to know exactly the timeline and the status or what's going on, should I say, with regards to this project. So with that in mind, let me turn it over to you gentlemen. And you have the floor.
Well, I thank you, Mr. President. It is a pleasure to come down to make this presentation to this body. Carlton and myself want you to know that we believe that this is the right time, the right place, and the right project. So, of course, we are ready to move forward as expeditiously as we are permitted to move forward. At this time, we have $3 million invested in this project without any agreements or anything, and that is unheard of, and especially for a small company as ours are, to be that far out in front without any agreements at all. And so we are here tonight to just to give you an overview of where we are, and hope that we can leave here, knowing that we will receive some help to move this project along as fast as we possibly can. Now, we have the commitment, to Trenton, because we think it's the ideal transit-oriented green project, right location, more suited for high-density green development in Jersey City, which was designated the greenest city in the country by the American Planning Association. And we think that Trenton can stand up to that if we are permitted to do this green project, which we have done other green projects that have turned urban communities around, and we would like to do the same thing here. We had top executives from Bank of America and First Southwest. They have met with the city officials here. They came from as far away as Dallas, Charlotte, and New York City.
Is there any information that you have to share with the council in terms of?
Well, I have some letters from Bank of America, from U.S. Bank that's doing the new market tax credit for the deal, Bank of America that is doing the bond financing and construction financing, as well as leasing a 4,000 square foot new branch bank there, and letters from CBRE telling you about their commitment to lease the space, that they think the market is there for it, and why there's a market for the commercial space that we would do here. So I do have those
Financial
records.
commitment.
Yes, financial commitment. That's the bank. That's the U.S. Bank and the Bank of America.
Okay. I thought you might have some to pass out.
Yeah, I do. I have,
Those letters.
these letters. I don't.
Everybody, continue on, sir.
And we don't believe that institutions such as these would chance their reputation behind a project nor a team that could not deliver. So when they come that far to show their support, I don't know what else one could expect from the financial institution. We have commitments for financing from Bank of America, who is also committed to open a new retail bank branch, as Carlton said, purchase and sell the RAB securities, and provide construction finance. They are the largest, most experienced bank in the U.S. when it comes to investing in emerging urban markets and the best at assessing risk. So anyone that would doubt them if they say that this is a project, I would like to see their evidence that it's not a good project. We have a commitment from First Southwest Company, the largest U.S. bank in the public bond market. They have committed to raise $26 million in RAB financing for the project. Canyon Johnson Urban Fund has committed to provide up to $22 million in equity investment for the project. There is also competition to invest equity in the project from J.P. Morgan Asset Management Renaissance Green Urban Fund, and has listed Trenton Townsend as one of its top investment priorities. We have bought all of these institutions here, and they are definitely in support of the project and would love to set up shop here in Trenton. There's been a lot of talk about Trenton not being a desirable community, that middle-class workforce would not move to Trenton, that only low-income housing can be financed in Trenton. We believe that is all nonsense. From people inexperienced in the transformation of urban communities, they may think that. But we have done it. We will stand on it. We believe it, and we're here to defend it. The risk assessment at the financial institution says this is an excellent project. It's a matter of record, can be checked. If you need that information, we will give it to you. The experts at ULI say this is a good project. The experts at CBRE, the country's largest commercial property, say this would be the prime office space in Mercer County. Some say that you couldn't have office space in downtown Trenton. They say different. We believe them. They are not going to chance their reputation. And they say because it is green office space, it will lease up fast and demand more rent in the market. Wychett says it's a good. Cochran says it's good. And these are the top real estate people in the market. They say that they can sell to people squeezed out of poverty. We have a project called the Kalahari. We had 4,000 applicants for 120 workforce homes, could not afford market rate in Trenton, but could afford market rate in Trenton, but could not find a home to buy and house. It's a 50-minute train ride from here, and a lot of those would be happy to come here. EDA has committed to maximize green investment through state energy. The only barriers that we see at this time is the city has not committed itself to a developer agreement with full spectrum. That is the one thing holding us up. No institution or no one is going to invest a dime if we can't prove that we have the development rights to this property. So that is what we are waiting on. We would hope that after tonight that we will get some assistance in getting that done. Of course, there's the city has asked for some more financial information, and we are preparing that information for the city, and we hope that that be the last hurdle. Full Spectrum is widely respected as national leader in the development of green real estate and emerging urban markets. Our work has been recently lauded by the Clinton Global Initiative 2007 Leadership in Renewing Urban Markets through Active for Green Development. The Multifamily Housing Finance Green Project of the Year 2007, we received that award. The Urban Land Institute Multifamily Development Award 2007, cited by Congressman Jay Inslee, Bank and Hendricks 2007 publication Apollo Fire, forward by Bill Clinton for their leadership in transforming written-off communities through green development. November 2007, Inc. magazine Eco Advantage. We was just awarded from the New York City Housing Partnership, the only developer of color that received their award this year, out of 7 developers that did 28,000 units of housing for them in New York City. We're asking support from this council for a public-private partnership, development agreement, and a parking garage that we must do. We believe that we have the right team, it's the right time, and the right place. So we are open to questions from you, and whatever you may need, we will try to facilitate.
No, just I'm here for questions.
Okay. This project is in the heart of the North Ward, a great historic neighborhood. So let me open up any questions and comments from the council that Mr. Milford would say. Yes, sir, council. Thank you.
The question is, the administration, why aren't you getting this development right in your opinion?
Well, I only can tell you what the administration is telling us.
Well, you tell me because they're not telling me
Yeah,
anything.
each time that we come to them, and we, like we say, we brought people from as far away as Dallas, Charlotte, and everything, to say that they are supporting it financially, they say that they needed more financial data. They wasn't sure, they didn't believe these experts, these pros. So now we are trying to pull together that financial information that they are seeking.
How long have you been in discussion now?
Oh, we've been in discussion about a year and a half now.
Maybe
Maybe
2 years, that's it.
About 2 years now.
Yeah.
On a project like this, what is the normal time? I know each case is individual, but on a project like this, what is the timeline? About a year, 18 months?
Well, it's according, and yes, 18 months is probably the top. And usually what happens, once you pick the developer, you go and give them the agreement so that they can begin to move. There's no one that's going to give us any assistance. They can't even believe, would you put some money into a project that a person don't have some paper saying that they have the right to develop it? Would you loan someone some money on a building that they don't have title to or something? So here we are, we have no title, no nothing to show that we are the developers that we say we are. So we are sort of stuck there with our money out there that we could be using elsewhere, but we can't. It's stuck here.
And that's the $3 million.
That's the $3 million.
Yeah, we have just about complete architectural engineering drawings, a lot of legal fees and stuff. The drawings are about 50% complete. A lot of legal stuff. There's a lot of expenses. And you ask what's normal. Let me just add this. I don't think there's really something you can call a normal time, because every project is a little different. Inevitably, on the work that we do, we work in emerging urban markets, and it's always what they call layered finance. It's money from this agency and from that agency and private equity and debt and bonds, and sometimes there are conflicting requirements. We did a project the one we were talking about that's got all these awards this year, 2007. We did a project there, and there's 8 different sources of financing for 250 condominium units and maybe 60,000 square feet of retail. And the process there, from the time we were designated, will spend for that project when we were designated, through an RFP process. It really only took about 2 months to get a conditional letter saying that you have site control of this thing, and if you do A, B, C, D, and close by a certain time, it would move forward. And so for that project to move forward from the time we got designated to the time we were just about ready to start moving in there was 3 years, and that's design, designation, construction. So it varies, right?
Look, but I understand that, sir, but what you're telling me in so many terms, and maybe I'm misreading you, this is highly unusual. I saw you in this order in council chambers almost 2 years ago, and the way you were speaking, like you were going to put the shovel in the ground.
Well, we thought we were going to have a conditional designation that would say, you have site control, and site control is the critical thing, right? So, for instance, I think in the letter one of the letters I passed by was CBRE, one of the things they said, well, for me to get tenant signed, I have to know that I have site control, and then I can say when the delivery date is, because the way CBRE works with us, we tell them when we think we're going to have the building ready, and what they do is evaluate maturing leases in the metro market to sort of fit the profile of the type space that we will have, and then that tells us about their ability to deliver tenants for it, right? And so it varies. In New Orleans, we were designated to purchase the World Trade Center, which is a $30 million acquisition. And the requirements there were that we would get a designation letter when we put up a $600,000 deposit, which we immediately put up. And we got the designation letter and will be closing on the acquisition at the end of the year, first of 2008, and we were designated in April. So it just varies, you know.
But when you last spoke, we had a different economy. We had a stronger economy. And now what I'm concerned about, that now you're telling me that your project can still function and be successful in our current economy.
Yeah.
But what you need is what partnership and cooperation from the city.
Yeah, we need, real simple, we need to be designated and have a developer agreement that says certain things. The things that the developer agreement needs to say for us is this, right? Is that the city will commit to build parking for the office building, and we will rent the parking for the office building for that, right?
Are you currently in conversation, talks with the city about that?
Yeah, we are in conversation with the city.
Okay, so
that's one thing.
Are we moving closer to the table or far away from the table at this point?
We are not as close to the table as I would like to be. If we had it my way, this negotiation would have been finished, and we would be building a building now. But, you know, I don't run the city.
Just with regards to the $3 million that you outlay are soft cost figures that you would probably
just soft
have to outlay anyway, but you're just saying that in terms of the commitment that you have.
We would have outlaid, but we would have known that we was outlaying it and we was going to be able to protect it by being able to move forward expeditiously. This way, we just have it out there, and we don't know when we're going to be able to move forward, and it's just sitting there.
No,
Doing
spent.
but it's sitting there. We can't recoup it until we start get the building completed.
So
Yeah.
what can this body do? What do you want from us?
Well, you know,
I'm curious.
Well, I asked the question, what expectations as you move along? I mean, obviously to approve it.
Well, when we get a developer agreement here, we want you to approve it, you know.
You think that'll come while I'm still alive? I'm still breathing?
I hope so.
So that thing goes back to the old
Maybe talking
so how
about
about that?
taxes and abatements or any other commitments.
Well, let me tell you. Okay, yeah. Let me say this. The other two, the garage. I hadn't finished the things that we need, right? In a developer agreement, right? We need the city to agree that for any parcels of property that we can't buy, as long as we put up the cash, you know, into the escrow account for any eminent domain that might have to happen, is that the city would do that, right? We would need the city to commit, that they would permit us to do something, it's sort of like tax increment financing, but the word they use here is RAP financing, and that's what First Southwest is doing. The city has to do that because of the incremental increase in taxes that this property will do, will create. What we're asking is that go into a bond that would be sold, and that in return for the city, in addition to getting whatever taxes they would get, it would be a profit-sharing agreement where the city would get a percentage of the revenues that the project generates, so that the city gets something from it. Ultimately, you do get the increased, you know, taxes, but that's only when the bonds are paid off. So the idea was that there would be a revenue-sharing plan so that the city would get some revenues in addition to getting new housing and retail and office that we think would be a boon to economic development to spur other development in the community. So those are the sort of things that the developer agreement needs to commit the city to doing.
Just a second, I'm sorry, you said a RAB?
RAB. And don't ask me what RAB is. Revenue revenue allocation fund.
When we want to come back to you.
No, I didn't go back.
I'll certainly come back to you. Mr. Costello. Mr. Key, yes, sir?
Mr. President, I appreciate you taking the time and energy, and I've heard a lot about this project, and I'm sure that if it gets completed, it's going to be a great project.
That's not a good word.
So let me ask you this. The first thing I like, Mr. President, they've given us a lot of information. I like to see your plan.
Okay, the drawing, or the plan, the financial plan.
You showed me some financial letters. I'd like to see your financial plan.
Mhm.
And you also spoke to a project that you had in California, was it?
Kalahari.
Kalahari,
Which is in Harlem.
in Harlem.
Yes.
And you spoke to the success of that project.
Yes.
All right, I'd like to see something about that as well. You know, it's always good to see your past work when you've done this type of thing. You also spoke to some tax abatements in a way of bonding, and you speak to the bonding being complete for the issue to be resolved. I need you to not tell me about it. I need to read it. I need to read what you're talking about, because we've been there before, and I have a few concerns about that. Not necessarily negative concerns, just concerns because it's important that I understand exactly what you're saying. Number one. Number two is, number three, would also speak to